Savanna Rodriguez is a pint-sized fighter with a punch of personality. She walks around with a purpose. It's almost hard to believe how far this 3-year-old from Mill Hall has come. She was born premature, 26 weeks early, and her fight was just beginning.
She was on a ventilator, a lot of different things going on.
Savanna's parents, Sabrina and Manuel, say she had issues with breathing and brain bleeds and needed the care and attention of the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, or NICU.
You know, she had that against her, and also the fact that she was 2 pounds 2 ounces. So she really wasn't a big baby. She was very small.
The NICU experience itself was very scary.
Yeah.
Being there for 2 months.
But as her dad says, she took it like a champ and went home at 34 weeks.
Yeah.
We brought her home before she should have even been born.
She went home on a monitor, caffeine, a few other medications. I mean, when you look at that at 25 weeks, that's an unbelievable outcome.
And it was, until Sabrina and Manuel realized Savanna's struggles weren't over.
I think after her parents lived through the first one, they never could have expected, kind of part 2.
To us, it just seemed like a stomach ache, because that's what she was holding her stomach. She wasn't feeling good.
When Savanna wasn't making any bowel movements, Sabrina made an appointment with her pediatrician.
She started turning gray, and that's really what scared us.
I called the doctor back and I said, I'm not waiting till 1 o'clock, that if you can't see us before that, we're gonna go to Geisinger.
Sabrina didn't realize it at the time, but this decision decided her daughter's fate.
That maternal instinct, that maternal connection with the child is honestly the one thing that saved this child's life.
The pediatrician saw Savanna right away and immediately told them to take her to the hospital.
So she actually got in the vehicle with us, right? She actually got in the car with Savanna, and she goes, "We need to go now." Like, that's how severe it was.
An x-ray was taken right away, but they were told Savanna would need to go to Geisinger Medical Center in Danville.
Well, Life Flight came and landed and a snowstorm set in. So they weren't able to take her back out. So they loaded her in the ambulance and the Life Flight crew got in the ambulance. And we made the trek down to Danville through the snowstorm. It was a nervous wreck.
But they made it.
Had it been much later, what came next would have not been recoverable for Savanna.
And the only thing I remember him actually saying at that point when we were there was, "We have to do exploratory surgery because we don't know what's going on."
It wasn't long before doctors knew what was wrong.
Shortly after her arrival here at the hospital, she was in the operating room. And what we saw was that her intestine looked very ill. It had gone without blood for a couple of hours.
Savanna suffered from malrotation, meaning her intestines were twisted.
But as it twists, it's no longer getting blood flow. And as it doesn't get any blood flow, it rapidly dies off. And when a large part of your bowel dies off, no matter what your age is, no matter what your state is, you're in a life-threatening situation.
We were sitting in the waiting room. They called us from the operating room and told us, we're coming to talk to you. She's still alive, we're coming to talk to you. That's exactly what they said to us. And it was like, okay, why wouldn't she still be alive? Like,
It was kind of bittersweet because it's like, oh, she's still alive. And it's like, oh, okay, it was that bad that, we almost lost her there. And
so what we decided to do in her case was to treat the intestine by untwisting it and returning the blood supply. And then without closing her belly, we just dressed her belly with sterile dressings and we waited a day.
it was an absolute nightmare. He fell on the floor like crying. It was really, really upsetting to see her that way.
And so they waited.
The big question then was, of that twist, of that turn, how much bowel did Savanna have left?
We ended up getting back approximately a quarter of her intestine. And the more a person has, the better, of course.
She had enough bowel to say, we have a chance.
With a quarter, though, we could predict from that moment on, because a quarter stayed and 3/4 was dead and had to be removed. We could predict that she was going to have some medical difficulties and some recovery to get through, and also a necessity of artificial nutrition.
And Dr. Coppola was right. Savanna now proudly displays her button. But in less than 2 years, she was able to eat food orally, and she loves to eat.
So we were scared to death. She needs a popsicle at this point.
You look at her now, and it was rough, it was hard, it was long, but you know, there's a child who, however you want to call it, whatever you want to say, here she is, and she made it.
So in a way, she beat the odds. In a way, she was a miracle because she got past the prediction from the severity of her illness. And I truly believe that that was the partnership between her parents and the numerous specialist providers here at the Children's Hospital.
A lot of prayer around this girl.
A lot of prayer, and also credit goes to, you know, the doctors and what they did to that. It's great.
The Rodriguez family truly believes they wouldn't be having these special moments with their daughter right now if it wasn't for the life-saving equipment used in Savanna's care, items that exist because of donations to Children's Miracle Network at Geisinger.
It's not going to be done right, you know? So when it comes down to the Children's Miracle Network helping out with that and kind of equipping Geisinger and any hospital with the right equipment, I thank you for that, because it was great to know that when they needed something, it was there.